What's up everybody, welcome back to episode 4 of building budget gaming PCs for profit. So today we have this PC right here that we'll be converting into a gaming PC, which we ended up buying a new motherboard since that motherboard is really not supported with any other case. We got this graphics card, which I'll go into more detail. You might remember it from the previous episode of building budget gaming PCs for profit. In this video, you'll be finding out why we're using this graphic card in this build instead of the other. And as for the power supply, we bought a new power supply, an ATX power supply, so it fits into the new case we have here, which is a white PC case, which we will get into detail of every single part throughout the video, so stay tuned. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to deassemble this case, deassemble the parts we need from this case, and yeah, we'll be moving on to the next step. So we're going to be taking out the RAM sticks first. So this is a 2x8GB clocked at 2666 MHz. The next thing we'll be needing is the SSD here, which is a 512GB. And yeah, that is your drive, which is a 512GB, 2.5-inch SSD. Put this one inside. And for the last thing we need from this build is the CPU under here. And as you can see, we got it out the board. Is an i7 6700 clocked at 3.4 GHz. So that's all the parts we're going to be needing for this build. Now that we took the parts we need, we're going to be briefly reassembling this, and this one will be sold as parts, either individually or all together as a bundle, which I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do yet, but we'll decide on the time. Now that we've completed the previous step of deassembling what we needed from the other case, we're going to be moving on to deep cleaning these products, but this will be done off camera. As for these two, there will be a dedicated video on how to clean these. And yeah, once we finish cleaning, we'll be coming back here.
1 hour later.
Now that we've completed the deep cleaning process off camera, we'll be moving on to the motherboard assembly. Bringing in the motherboard itself, opening the socket, bringing in the CPU. The CPU is an Intel Core i7 6700 clocked at 3.4 GHz. The wiggle test, it's in place. Bringing in this, latching it down. Now we're going to move on to the RAM sticks. So we do have a kit of 2x8GB clocked at 2666 MHz. Started by slots 1, slots 3, that's where we're going to be putting the RAM sticks in. We're going to be moving on to the CPU core of the build. And your motherboard is ready, so we'll be moving on to unboxing the case. Now that we remove the panels off the case, we're going to be moving on to the motherboard assembly. Now bringing the case in, we're going to be installing the motherboard. But what I did off camera, I installed a couple of standoffs since the motherboard is a bit wider and won't be aligning with the other. The holes it was previously in, so I switched them around, and yeah, we are ready to go now. Starting off with, of course, the I/O shield. The motherboard, it won't fit this way, we gotta come this way here, down here. Now that the motherboard is secured in place, we're going to be moving on to installing the graphics card into the case. Now the graphics card that will be installed in this computer is this EVGA 1660 Super, which we did paint in a video, which I'll be linking it down in the description below. And also you guys might be recognizing this GPU from the previous episode of building budget gaming PCs for a profit. Yeah, we do have a problem with that computer, which the clip will come up on screen right now, explaining the situation, and then we're going to be moving on to assembling the PC. So an update on the PC from the previous episode, building budget gaming PCs for a profit. As you can see right here, that's the PC part, and that's the case. A problem where the BIOS is corrupted. We brought this programmer, we're trying to fix up the motherboard. So what I did, I enabled secure boot. Apparently that completely, crashed the motherboard BIOS, which assumingly it came from the factory, corrupted. So yeah, if I have any more updates, I will be sure to give you updates on this. We're going to be putting in the graphics card to the case. Opening this. Now that that's completed, we're going to be moving on to putting the power supply into the build. So forgetting to mention, this is a Corsair CX 550 watt power supply unit that we installed to the case. Now we have this 512 gigabyte SSD. So we did take out the graphics card once again, and we did end up plugging the front ports, IOs with HD audio, and the power switch and whatever other stuff we had to do. We had to remove the graphics card since it wasn't enough space to do it as it was in, and we did remove these two fans to plug in them easier. So yeah, let's get back right into putting back the graphics card in and plugging in all the front ports, and we move on to the back. Now that we're completed from the front, we're going to move on to the cable management at the back. Now that we're completed setting up Windows, installing all the drivers, and also we did install all the games and all the softwares we need to benchmark this PC. So we're going to get right into the benchmarking. Now that we're completed building this PC, before we get into the benchmarking performance of this PC, discuss numbers. Numbers meaning how much did this build cost in total. As you can see on the screen, there's a parts list with all the prices right next to it, which came to a total of $476.68, which, considering this is a really decent deal. And please do keep in mind, so there's no confusion here, all these prices are in Australian dollars. Now that we spoke about how much did everything really cost, get into the most important part: how does it perform?
Allied troops engaging in objective Charlie 2.
always political.
Political, criminal, it's the same shit. I don't care if it's ass prints from the grassy knoll. Long as it's profitable. I don't to you. Get that shit over there and let him do his thing.
So what's happening when we get there, Kay?
I'll be saying he needs some time to upload whatever that shit is.
Upload it straight away? This shit must be hot, Kay.
For sure.
Today's video is over. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I enjoyed making the video. Please consider liking, subscribing, comment down below if you have any opinions or any sort of information you want me to know, or whatever the case may be. Please leave it down and I'll reply to every comment as much as possible. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.